In this video, we can discuss about quality control and evaluation test of parenteral products. As we all know, parenteral products are pharmaceutical dosage form which are intended to administer directly into the systemic or blood circulation. So it is very important to make sure that these products are free from contaminating microorganisms, pyrogens and other particulate matters. Hence, the quality control test of parenteral products is very important when compared with other pharmaceutical products which are administered by other routes. So, during an starting stage and the final stage of parenteral preparation, it is very important to make sure that the quality of the parenteral product is free from contaminating microorganisms, pyrogens and other particulate matter. Quality control evaluation of parenterals is involved primarily with incoming raw materials and which are used for the parenteral preparations and the different stages of manufacturing process and the final product after packing in unit containers. Testing of incoming raw material include routine testing on active pharmaceutical ingredient and the testing of raw materials and packaging material which are used for the parenteral preparation for is there any presence of contaminating microorganism, pyrogens and other particulate matters. During the manufacturing process, there are different process control which include daily testing of water for injection. Water for injection is an important aqueous vehicle which is used for the formulation of parenteral products. So we have to make sure that there is no contamination in the water for injection, and we have to confirm the fill doses and yield of parenteral preparation in each container during the filling stage. And then we have to check and approve the intermediate production tickets during the manufacturing process, and we have to check the label identity as well as number of unit dosage form that is manufactured or filled in during the manufacturing process of parenteral preparations. Now coming to the most important part of evaluation of parenteral preparation is finished products. So finished product control includes all the tests which are necessary to ensure the potency, purity and identity of the product. And the official test for finished parenteral products are sterility testing, pyrogen test, leakage test, particle analyzing test or clarity test and content uniformity test. This is very important for the examination point of view as well as for the manufacturing point of view as a quality control test for final products. Now let's discuss each method in detail. First, let's have a discussion about sterility testing. So what is sterility testing? Sterility testing is the pharmaceutical quality control test for sterile pharmaceutical products to check the product is sterile. So what is sterile? The condition of the product or system that is free from all the contaminating microorganisms. So what is the test? Usually the test involves aseptic transfer of a quantity specified in the monograph like Indian Pharmacopoeia or another USP or BP from a specified number of containers of the batch. Depends on the number of container in batch, it will change, and we have to transfer the specified quantity from specified number into a sterile nutrient media which is specified in the monograph, and then we will incubate for a sufficient period, usually of 7 to 14 days at a temperature of optimum condition that is required for the growth of microorganism. Now how we will assess the product is sterile or not, whether it will pass the sterility test or not. So after and during the 7 to 14 days of incubation, if there is any turbidity in the culture media, it indicates the growth of viable microorganism that may be from the product. And if there is any growth, it indicates it will fail the test for sterility. Now this is the procedure outlined for sterility testing. First we have to arrange the required sterilized equipment or apparatus which are used for sterility testing in an aseptic room. In that room we have maintained the aseptic condition like grade A area. Then we will take the random sample from a specific number of bottle or item to be tested depends on the number of container in each batch. Then from the specified number of bottle we will measure specified volume or amount of the sample from each container. Then we will dilute with liquid A or B if it is necessary to inactivate the antimicrobial agent which is used as a preservative in parenteral preparation. And after diluting we will select either method A, that is the membrane filtration, or method B, that is the direct inoculation, and we will perform this method in a laminar airflow unit with an HEPA filter. Then after performing this method we will transfer either the sample in case of direct inoculation or the membrane in case of membrane filtration to a culture media which is specified in the monograph. In IP, these media are fluid thioglycolate media, alternative thioglycolate media, or soybean casein digest media. Then we will incubate at 30 to 35 degrees Celsius, that is the optimum condition for bacteria, and 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, that is the optimum condition for fungi, for 7 to 14 days. And during the 7 to 14 days we will observe for the growth as a turbidity. So during and after 14 days, is there any turbidity which indicates growth of microorganism, which indicate the failure of sterility testing, and if there is no turbidity, it indicates no growth or it will pass us the sterility testing. Now as we mentioned, we have to take a specified number of bottle from each batch. So how many container to be tested from each batch? This is the number of sample to be taken specified in Indian Pharmacopoeia for injectable preparations. So if the number of container in a batch is less than 100, we have to take either 10% or 4 container, whichever is greater. Which means if our batch production is 30, we have to take 10% of the 30, that is 3 bottles or 4 container, whichever is greater. Since 4 is greater than 3, we have to take 4 containers. So if the batch production is 80, we have to take either 10% of the 80, that is 8 bottle or 4 container, whichever is greater. 8 is greater than 4, so we have to take 8 container for sterility testing. Now if the batch production is more than 100 container and less than 500 container, we will take 10 container for sterility testing. And if batch production is more than 500 container, we will take 50 containers or we will take either 2% or 20 container, whichever is less. For suppose we have 600 container in a batch, we will take 2% of the 600, that is 12 container or 20 container, and whichever is less. 12 is less than 20, so we will take 12 container for sterility testing. Now for the bulk solids like parenteral dry solids, if the number of item or container per batch is less than 4 container, we have to take each container for sterility testing. If 4 to 50 container, we have to take either 20% or 4 container, whichever is greater. And if it is more than 50 container, we have to take either 2% or 10 container, whichever is greater. Now how much of the sample of volume should be taken from each containers? So depends on the number of container, we have to take some specified number of container for sterility testing. Now how much sample should be taken from each containers? So this is the some specified volume. If the volume of one container is less than 1 ml, we have to take total content of the container for sterility testing and 50 ml of culture media. If it is 1 to 4 ml, half of the content should be taken and 20 ml of culture media. If it is greater than 4 and less than 20 ml per bottle, we have to take 2 ml and 20 ml of culture media. 20 to 100, less than 100, 10% of the total content, and 100 or more, less than half of the content of the container unless and otherwise specified in the monograph, and 80 ml of the culture media. Now this is the number of the amount of sample to be taken from dry solids. If each container contains less than 50 mg, total container should be taken for sterility testing with 40 ml of culture media. If container containing 50 mg or more and less than 200 mg, half of the container should be taken and 80 ml of culture media. If the container contains greater than 200 mg of the dry solid, we have to take 100 mg and 80 ml of the culture media. Now, what are the different culture media which are used for the sterility testing? There are 3 official culture media which is specified in the Indian Pharmacopoeia, that is fluid thioglycolate media, which will use for clear fluid, and alternative thioglycolate media, which will use if the solution is turbid or viscid, or the product or device which having tube with small lumina, and soybean casein digest media for the growth of fungus. So fluid thioglycolate media and alternative thioglycolate media or the culture media for the bacteria, and soybean casein digest media is the culture media for fungi. Now, after the preparation of this culture media, we will autoclave this culture media at 121 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes in order to make sure that there is no contaminating microorganism in the culture media, and we will perform a sterility test for the media also using as a control. Now these are some microorganisms and their incubation conditions which are used for the sterility testing. In case of fluid thioglycolate media, we will use Clostridium sporogenes and Pseudomonas aeruginosa, and incubation temperature is 30 to 35, and these are the organisms for aerobic and anaerobic condition. For alternative thioglycolate media, Bacteroidetes vulgatus and Clostridium sporogenes, and soybean casein digest media, Candida albicans and Aspergillus brasillensis. These are fungi which will use as a positive control along with the culture media. Okay, so this is the different standard microorganism which will use as an positive controls. Now along with the test sample, we will use an controls. So what is the control? The controls are mainly used to show the microorganism will actually grow under the condition of the test and which are not contaminated. So we will use 2 types of control in sterility testing, one positive control and one negative control. In case of positive control, the medium in which the medium with added non-microorganism that we had described here, this kind of standard microorganism will be used in the positive control to confirm that the culture media is capable of growth of microorganism. And in case of negative control, we will use the culture media alone without adding any standard microorganism or any sample to confirm the media is not contaminated by microorganism. So during the sterility testing, the positive control should give a positive result. That means the culture media which containing positive control, which containing the standard microorganism, should give an turbidity and it should give a positive result, and negative control should give a negative result. That means there should not be any turbidity in case of negative control. So that is the control which are used for the sterility testing. So sometime during the sterility testing, there is a chance for false negative result, which means even though sample containing some contaminating microorganism, it may give a negative result. It will not produce the turbidity. And this is mainly due to the presence of some bacteriostatic agent like 0.5% phenol, which is used as a preservative in the parenteral preparation. So in this case, we have to neutralize this effect of bacteriostatic agents. And this can be done by either diluting with fluid A or B, or by using some agents which will neutralize or antagonize the effect of inhibitory agents. For example, the phenol which can be inhibited by the effect of phenol can be inhibited by dilution up to 50 times, and in case of penicillin by adding penicillinase enzyme, which is an antagonist of penicillin. So these are some examples of different inhibitory agents which are used as an preservative in the pharmaceutical products, and these are its inactivating agent. So for the agents like phenol, cresol and alcohol, we will inactivate this agent by dilution. For the inhibitory agent like penicillin, it is inactivated by adding penicillinase enzyme. For the agent which are like parabens, we will inactivate it by dilution. Then heavy metals by thioglycolic acid, sulfonamide by adding para-aminobenzoic acid. So these are some inhibitory agents which are used as a preservative and its inactivating agent to avoid the false negative result. Now there are two official methods for sterility testing, method A and method B. Method A is also known as membrane filtration and method B is direct inoculation. And method A or membrane filtration method is mainly used to perform sterility testing of oil, oilments, non-bacteriostatic solid which are not readily soluble, and soluble powders. And usually the large volume parenterals are mainly perform the sterility testing by membrane filtration method. And in case of direct inoculation method, usually it is done for small volume parenterals. Now let's see what is the procedure for membrane filtration method. First we have to clean the exterior surface of container which is to be sampled for sterility testing with an antimicrobial agent. So after cleaning, we will aseptically transfer the specified amount of sample from that container in a laminar airflow unit in order to avoid the contamination during the sterility testing. Then if it is required, we will dilute with fluid A or B to inactivate the inhibitory action of preservative. So after diluting, we will filter through an hydrophobic edge membrane filter with pore size of 0.45 micrometer. So after filtering, we will wash the membrane with the fluid A or B to get rid if there is any possible traces of antibiotics and that would have sticken to the membrane. So after the washing, we will transfer the segregated microorganism on the filter paper or the two parts of filter paper to two separate media, fluid thioglycolate or alternative thioglycolate media for bacteria and which will incubate at 30 to 35 degrees Celsius, and soybean casein digest media and which is used for the growth of fungi and we will incubate at 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, and then we will observe for the growth during and after 14 days. So this is the procedure for membrane filtration method. Now coming to direct inoculation method, first we have to clean the exterior surface with antimicrobial agent. Then we will aseptically transfer the specified content in laminar airflow unit. Then specified volume of sample of each container preparation are withdrawn from the containers. Then we will dilute if it is required with fluid A or B. Then we will directly transfer into two culture media, one for bacteria, one for fungi, as we mentioned before in that membrane filtration method. Then we will observe for 7 to 14 days. So now how we will interpret the result of sterility testing? This is very important because we will get 4 conditions depending upon the result on test solution which containing test sample plus medium, and a positive control which containing a standard microorganism which is added to the medium which is prepared for the sterility testing, and a negative control, a blank culture media which do not containing any microorganism or any test solution. So first we have a chance for getting a positive result, or that means a turbidity during or after 14 days in case of test solution, and a turbidity in a positive controls, and a negative no turbidity or negative result in negative control. So if we are getting a result like this, which indicate it will fail the test for sterility, because the positive result indicate there is a contamination in the test solution, and the positive result give positive result indicate the culture media is capable of growing microorganism, and the negative result giving a negative result indicate the culture media which is prepared for sterility testing is sterile, which do not contain any contaminating microorganism. Now there are two chances for to get invalid result. For example, if we are getting a positive result in negative control, in which we didn't add any test sample or any microorganism. So if we are getting a positive result in the negative control, which indicate some microorganism has been contaminated in the culture media, and the positive result of test sample may be from the contaminating microorganism in the culture media. So we will consider this test as invalid and we will retest the sterility testing. Now there is another result. We will get a negative result in positive control, in which we had added the test microorganism to the culture media. So it should give a positive result because it containing a standard microorganism that we had added. So if it is giving a negative result, which indicate the culture media is not capable of promoting the growth of microorganism. So the negative result of test solution may be due to this effect. That effect means the culture media cannot promote the growth even if it is containing a test or microorganism in the test solution. So this test also considers as invalid. Now if we are getting a negative result for test solution and a positive result for positive control and negative result for a negative control, it is considered as pass. The sample is passed for sterility testing. So this is the exact interpretation method of sterility testing. So during and after 7 to 14 days of incubation, there are two chances of observation. Either there is no absence or there is absence of turbidity, it indicates no growth. So while after considering the positive and negative control, if it is giving a negative result for test sample and positive result for positive control and negative result for negative control, it indicates it will pass us the sterility testing. So if it is showing any turbidity, any growth during and after the 7 to 14 days of incubation, it is considered as test positive, which means it containing contaminating microorganism. So what we will do is we will reserve the container which we had performed for the sterility testing, and we will analyze the growth of microorganism in the first sample. Now if the microorganism is unrelated to the sample, it is considered as invalid. Means if it is giving a positive result for a negative control, we didn't add any organism or any sample to a negative control culture media alone, we are getting a positive result, which means contamination was from culture media. So in that case, we will retest the sterility testing with the same number as that we had done with the sterility testing of first. So during this test, if there is no turbidity, means it will pass us the sterility testing. If there is any presence, it indicate it positive, then we will analyze the growth. Now if during the analysis of the growth, if the sample is related to the sample and not distinguishable, that means we get a growth here, that microorganism and the growth obtained from the first sterility testing is same, which indicate the microorganism is from the bottles or container that is tested. So we can consider this failed for the sterility testing. So if it is distinguishable, that means first sample and second sample of microorganism is separate, we will retest the sterility testing with double the sample number, and if there is presence of turbidity, it indicates the failure of test for sterility, and there is absence of sterility, it indicates no growth, which indicate it passes the sterility testing. അപ്പോൾ ചുരുക്കി പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഫസ്റ്റ് നമുക്ക് സ്പെസിഫൈ ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ള നമ്പർ ഓഫ് സാമ്പിളുകൾ വെച്ചിട്ട് നമ്മളൊരു സ്റ്റെറിലിറ്റി ടെസ്റ്റിംഗ് പെർഫോം ചെയ്യും. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് കിട്ടുന്ന സാമ്പിൾ എത്രയാണ്, ഐ മീൻ അതിന് ഗ്രോത്ത് ഉണ്ട് ഇല്ല എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് അതിനെ പാസ് ആണെന്ന് കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യാം. ഇൻ കേസ് അതിൽ ഗ്രോത്ത് കണ്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമുക്ക് അപ്പോൾ കിട്ടിയിട്ടുള്ള ആ സാമ്പിളുകൾ, ആ കണ്ടെയ്നറുകൾ നമ്മൾ റിസർവ് ചെയ്ത് അതിലുള്ള ഗ്രോത്ത് ഏതാണെന്ന് അനലൈസ് ചെയ്യും. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു മൈക്രോ ഓർഗാനിസം ആണെന്ന് നമുക്കത് കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാൻ പറ്റും. ഇനി നമുക്ക് ഇങ്ങനത്തെ കണ്ടീഷൻ വരികയാണെങ്കിൽ നമ്മളൊരു ഫസ്റ്റ് റീടെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യും. ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ എത്ര നമ്പർ ഓഫ് ബോട്ടിലാണോ എടുത്തത് അത്ര തന്നെ നമ്പർ ഓഫ് പുതിയ ബോട്ടിലുകൾ എടുത്ത് പുതിയൊരു റീടെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യും. അവിടെ ഗ്രോത്ത് കാണുന്നില്ല എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് പാസ്സാണെന്ന് കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യാം. അവിടെ ഗ്രോത്ത് കണ്ടാൽ ആ ഗ്രോത്ത് ഏതാണെന്ന് അനലൈസ് ചെയ്യും. ഗ്രോത്ത് ഏതാണെന്ന് അനലൈസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് നമ്മൾ അനലൈസ് ചെയ്ത് കിട്ടുന്ന മൈക്രോ ഓർഗാനിസവും ഇവിടെ നമുക്ക് അനലൈസ് ചെയ്ത് കിട്ടിയ മൈക്രോ ഓർഗാനിസവും സെയിം ആണെങ്കിൽ ആ ടെസ്റ്റ് ഫെയിൽ ആണെന്ന് നമുക്ക് കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യാം. അതല്ല, ഇവിടെ കിട്ടുന്ന മൈക്രോ ഓർഗാനിസം സെപ്പറേറ്റ് ആണ്, ഇവിടെ കിട്ടിയ മൈക്രോ ഓർഗാനിസം സെപ്പറേറ്റ് ആണ്. ദാറ്റ് ഇൻഡിക്കേറ്റ് ദ കണ്ടാമിനേഷൻ ഓഫ് മൈക്രോ ഓർഗാനിസം വാസ് സംവെയർ എൽസ്. ബോട്ടിൽ നല്ല വന്നിട്ടുള്ളത്, വേറെ എവിടെ നിന്നോ ആണ് കണ്ടാമിനേഷൻ വന്നിട്ടുള്ളത്. അങ്ങനെയാണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമ്മളൊരു സെക്കൻഡ് റീടെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യും വിത്ത് ഡബിൾ ദ സാമ്പിൾ നമ്പർ. സോ സെക്കൻഡ് റീടെസ്റ്റ് അതിന്റെ ഇരട്ടി നമ്പർ ഓഫ് കണ്ടെയ്നറുകൾ എടുത്തിട്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ ടെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അവിടെ ഒരു ടർബിഡിറ്റി കാണുകയാണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് ടെസ്റ്റ് ഫോർ സ്റ്റെറിലിറ്റി ഫെയിലായി. അവിടെ ഒരു ടർബിഡിറ്റി കാണുന്നില്ല എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ആ ടെസ്റ്റ് ഫോർ സ്റ്റെറിലിറ്റി പാസ്സായി എന്നുള്ളത് കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യാം. അപ്പോൾ ഇത് ഷോർട്ടായിട്ട് പറയുന്ന ഒരു ഡയഗ്രാമാണ്. ഗ്രോത്ത് ഒബ്സർവ് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ കണ്ടെയ്നർ നമ്മൾ റിസർവ് ചെയ്ത് റീടെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യണം. ഗ്രോത്ത് കാണുന്നില്ലെങ്കിൽ അത് പാസ്സായെന്ന് കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യാം. വീണ്ടും നമ്മൾ റീടെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് ഗ്രോത്ത് കാണുകയാണെങ്കിൽ അത് ഡിസ്റ്റിങ്വിഷബിൾ ആണ് എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, അതായത് ഇവിടെ കിട്ടിയ മൈക്രോ ഓർഗാനിസം ഇവിടെ കിട്ടിയ മൈക്രോ ഓർഗാനിസം സെപ്പറേറ്റ് ആണെങ്കിൽ നമ്മളൊരു സെക്കൻഡ് റീടെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യും. ആ റീടെസ്റ്റിൽ ഗ്രോത്ത് ഒബ്സർവ് ചെയ്താൽ ടെസ്റ്റ് ഫെയിൽ ആണ്, ഗ്രോത്ത് ഒബ്സർവ് ചെയ്തില്ലെങ്കിൽ ടെസ്റ്റ് പാസ്സാണ്. ഇവിടെ ആണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിലും നമ്മൾ നോട്ട് ഡിസ്റ്റിങ്വിഷബിൾ ആണ്, ഇവിടെ കിട്ടിയ മൈക്രോ ഓർഗാനിസം ഇവിടെ കിട്ടിയ മൈക്രോ ഓർഗാനിസം സെയിം ആണെങ്കിൽ ആ ടെസ്റ്റ് ഫെയിൽ ആണെന്ന് കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. So that is all about the sterility testing of in parenteral preparations. In next video we will discuss about the pyrogen test.